Hello, and we are live. Hello, my name is Christian Fischer. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show, and we have a very special guest because a lot of you guys ask for more Parveen, the Spice Queen. So we get started in a second. Hello. Again, my name is Christian Fischer. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Show, and I'm excited to have Chef Parveen, the Spice Queen, back for round two because you listeners requested. And by the way, a shout out. Thank you for making Parveen's episode the most watched and listened episode. We had 22,417 downloads of Parveen's show. So we're really excited. Chef Parveen, we're excited to have you back. How have you been?
Thank you. It's good to be back. It's really good to be back. Very exciting, Christian, that people had wanted to tune in and listen. And if people want to listen, I'm happy to talk.
And so I'm looking at some of the questions we got, and it was all about they were fascinated, first of all, that you were in Ghana. The second thing, which was really, oh my God, she's not a chef. She has two books and she does all this cool stuff. And somebody wrote here, want to get more of Chef Parveen. She's spicing up my culinary world. How the heck did she become a celebrity chef? So there's all of these questions. So I think today we want to know a little bit more how your world started. And first question here was from one of our listeners, and that question comes from Mary. So Mary is tuning in from Minnesota. So Mary, thanks for sending us this question. And the day she had, Parveen, looking back, what did a typical filming day look like for you? Could you describe the flow from morning preparation to wrap up? How did you get it all done?
Wow, Mary, that's a huge question. I have to say, Christian, it's things in life. If they say if it feels normal, it doesn't feel like work because it was so normal to me being in front of the camera and cooking and talking. It didn't feel unnatural. It felt very natural. But my goodness, the hours were not natural. Mary, I was up at 5:30. The car picked me up at 6, in makeup at 6:30, in their studio at 7:30, and started cooking at 8 a.m. If I hadn't loved cooking, it would have been such a chore, but it was an absolute blessing. But filming a recipe, it's not like really cooking a recipe in real life.
Yeah.
You have a team of people in the kitchen. Somebody's chopping and somebody's prepping. However, it's always me on camera. But it went really smoothly. And you know why? Because whatever I was doing for the camera, I was doing it from here. I was doing it from my heart. And that's what people saw. They saw the energy of what I was doing on screen. And I said to my husband, it's a really good job. I love cooking because it would have shown on screen, Christian, if I hadn't. It would have shown. It was a long day. So starting at 5:30, finishing at 8, and you have to look as good as you do at 9 a.m. as you do at 8 p.m. It was not easy. It's tough. It's a lot of stamina. A lot of coffee.
And then the second portion of she says, and when did you wrap up a shoot? So she was curious to know how long did it take you all day on camera?
On camera, yeah. The cameras start rolling at 8 a.m. and then you have lunch break. You have a microphone on and you have a ton of makeup and people to do things for you, which is really strange. But you realize it's a job and you are there to perform in front of the camera. So we do about 3 recipes a day. And each recipe is filmed twice to get because it's recorded. Live is different, Mary. So each recipe is recorded twice, and then they choose the best bits. And then there's the recipe, there's hand acting and face acting. Don't ask about the hand acting. It's just picking something up and putting it there, and then the camera zooms in. And after the first 2 days, you realize that, you are showcasing a recipe. Long hours, and actually you do about 3 to 4 recipes a day.
Wow. That is amazing, and it makes for a very long day, which kind of goes into question number 2, which comes from Robert from Springfield, Illinois.
Hey, Robert from Illinois.
So his thing first was huge shout out to Chef Parveen. You were amazing. He made some hurtful comments about my accent, so I want to repeat.
Love your accent, Christian.
So Robert's question was, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced in preparing for an episode or for an event?
I think when you're a TV chef and a celebrity chef and you are cooking on camera, the biggest challenge is you actually can't feed people. So
Mhm.
Christian, if you came to my house and Robert came to my house, I would be making the butter chicken and rice and feeding you. But once the camera goes off, you can't really eat it and feed people. It's just to show the camera. So it sort of goes against the grain, i.e., I'm a feeder, and my language of love is to cook and feed people. So the biggest challenge for me is it was not to sit and eat the food at the end of the shoot. But in agreements with the producers, we did all eat together, and the crew took the food home.
That's awesome. So, Robert, I hope that answer your question. And no, I will not change my accent.
No, don't.
Um, yeah, no, very hurtful, Robert. Next question I had here was from Sarah, and Sarah is from Waco, Texas.
Texas.
Sarah, thanks for listening in and thanks for giving us the shout out for Chef Parveen. And her question was, Chef Parveen worked
Yes.
with as many different, teams from the years. So her question was, if you worked with a few different teams over the years, and could you tell us more about the people who support you behind the scene? Great question, Sarah. She's interested in how did this collaboration shape up for the show? Um, oh, good question. So different
Oh,
people over the
God.
years behind the
These are
scenes.
really difficult questions, Christian. The team that when you have a mainstream show, Channel 3 ITV is Channel 3, it's the third biggest channel here in the UK. So you have professional people. I mean, we had people like there's a chef called Nigel Lawson, Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver. So we had
Mhm.
the right sound guy, the right cameraman, we had the right producers. I was very, very, very lucky in the cherry picked the best cameraman, sound people, producers, directors to direct me. I remember cracking an egg or saying, I'm going to, and they said, no, no, the egg went the wrong way. Can you crack it again? I'm like, are you kidding me? He said, no, 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 it needs to flow on the right and not to the left. So you have people who are experts in their field. So every time you do a show, the team may change. And the only constant is you actually. It can be quite lonely.
And the second portion of her question was, how did this collaboration shape up on the show?
I think within a day. So listen, I am. You see what you get, and I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. And I think within a day or two of meeting the crew, it was very important to me that I get on with the crew. And my husband said, "No, not really, Parveen. It's just a job." I'm like, "Yeah, but if I'm not gonna, if there's no energy, there's no synergy between people, how are you gonna make a show about food? It's not gonna work." So I remember, I think I took gifts in the second day, and we had
That's
coffee.
awesome.
So I just said to everybody, "Listen, guys, this is my dream come true." And I actually did a prayer.
Wow, I love
We
that.
had,
I
yeah,
love that.
I don't think they'd had it done before. I prayed and we blessed the set.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and they were very kind to go with my religious beliefs. And I think suddenly everybody in the room realized, oh my God, she really does love this. And it's all about the energy in the room. And I think that's once I'd done that, they sort of got to know me thinking, she really is, a genuine kind of person when it comes to food. So we blessed the set and it worked.
That is awesome. Uh, okay, next question is from John from Boston, Massachusetts. By the way, we're gonna be in Boston.
Boston. My
Eh,
daughter was going to come to live in Boston. Her fiance is from Boston. Hey, hi,
Yeah,
Boston.
and actually, we can't share it yet, but there's a special event we're gonna do in Boston in the next few months, and just keep listening to our show and keep track of what we do. We will make an announcement in a very short time, and we're gonna spend some time in Boston. So if you're around, John, we would love to meet you in person.
I'm down,
John.
John. Yes. Wear a red rose. I know who you are, John.
So John's question is, he says, I'm not a chef, but I'm very interested and fascinated by celebrity chefs. Could you share one or two memories from a set that stayed with you until today?
Wow. Yeah. So many memories. Some a bit naughty and some a bit not. So yeah, let me tell you something happened that was really funny. So when you're doing TV, as you know, Christian, I don't know, you're mic'd up. There's mics here, and the mic pack is there, and you're filming, and everything's a very tight schedule. So I'd gone to the bathroom with my mic pack on, and then I came out, and everybody just burst out laughing. And I said, "Is something wrong?" They said, "We all heard everything, Parveen." I'd gone to the bathroom with my mic pack switched on, which I thought was quite cruel, but it was my induction into the world of filming. And it's the least glamorous thing. I remember thinking, I'm never going to forget this. Other than that, I think for me, seeing the first clip of the show, and they do a post-production, so it looks very glamorous, and seeing the opening titles to my show, I think I cried to see myself in this amazing production. And all I can say is that I just felt truly blessed to see the very first scene of myself on camera. Just amazing, just amazing.
I love that. That's really cool. And yeah, a hot mic can be a doozy. So thanks for sharing that. Next question comes from Eric from Scottsdale, Arizona. And Eric said, I'm an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and he says, I do not enjoy being in a public eye. How did you handle the balance of your personal persona with your private life during your TV chef career? Great question, Eric.
That is a great question. I mean, I'm the least introvert person in the world. If you get to know me, I'm one of. Is this John? What's his name?
No, this is Eric from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Eric from Arizona. So I'm middle child of 7. So do you remember the Waltons, Christian?
Yeah, I do.
So we were like the Asian Waltons, except my brother wasn't called Jim Bob. He was called Mary Ellen. No. So we were 7 children. I was the middle child. And if you know anything about the middle child syndrome, they tend to be loud and attention seeking. So you take that personality with a love of food. And so I was the perfect celebrity chef in that I wanted to talk and showcase myself. However, when you go out into the public and people meet you, it's really strange. And not so much my face they recognize my voice.
Wow.
My accent. And so if you go to a restaurant, there's a lot of staring, and you think, are they staring because I've got something on my teeth? And you realize they want to come and say hello. And the British are very polite.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is, if I'm in a restaurant and somebody recognizes me, I'll stand up and go to the washroom, and then they come and ask me for my autograph or a photograph. But generally speaking, they're very nice. There was one incident when the woman heard my voice and she just threw herself on top of me, and I fell backwards. She went, Parveen, and she threw herself on top of me, which was really strange. It takes some getting used to, actually, and I don't think you ever really get used to it. Oh, we are recording a show. My son's in the background.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of being live. So if anybody's interested, listen.
The viewers.
This is live, and there's
live.
Things happen, so do not worry about it.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, I had a good run up to it. So I'd done local TV and lots of appearances locally. So when it happened, it wasn't a huge shock, except the whole nation knew who I was. And it was very humbling, actually, and great. I quite like the attention.
I love that. Next question, actually, I love that. This question is from Natalie from Hartford, Connecticut. So Natalie, thanks for listening in. And by the way, I'm also based in Connecticut. So drop us a note. Maybe we can bring you here, and actually you could be live here with us when we record the next show. And her thing is, I never really thought much about Indian cuisine, but thanks for introducing me to the rich flavors and the dishes from Chef Parveen. So you're welcome. I take credit for that.
Wow. She knows my flavor. She knows my dishes, Christian.
That's okay. And how did you approach if she's asking me, I think she's asking you that. How did you approach the responsibility of educating your audience about diverse cuisines and cultures? That's a really good question, Natalie.
Okay, so here's the thing. If you know your subject matter, it's easy to teach. So for yourself, Christian, Natalie, using a garam masala to make a butter chicken, fenugreek leaves, these are all new flavors to you. However, for myself, I had them from day dot. You know, from the moment you open your eyes. I'm sure if my mother could have put chili powder in my milk, she would have done. But from a very, very early age, generally we do give children a taste of spice from the age of about 1 to 2. So I knew my flavors and I knew my subject matter. So then the rest was easy to teach. Sounds very loud. Are you cooking?
Yeah.
He's cooking. He's making chicken.
There's nothing better than talking about food in our live podcast. And we have an amateur cook in the back. Okay.
Yeah, my son cooks. I mean, he's actually a very, very good cook. He takes my recipes, but he puts his own twist on them. So in terms of my knowledge, it just comes from a very authentic place, i.e. my mother. And the rest is when I teach you guys how to cook, I find it quite easy because I'm an ex-teacher. I'm
Oh,
an ex-kindergarten teacher, and so I find teaching easy. I find talking easy, and I know my spices. So when you have that recipe for success, oh, that is such a bad pun. When you have that recipe of success, it sort of works. It comes from a good, authentic place, if that makes any sense.
yeah, yeah. By the way, that was a really good question, Natalie. And also let us know, how did you learn? Did you know about Chef Parveen prior to this? I know we sent some information and we shared some of your videos, but Natalie, we would be curious to know, how did you learn a little bit more something?
There's my videos on YouTube, Kristen, so
Yep.
she can follow those recipes.
Next question. Oh, thanks for logging in from Canada. We have Blake from Toronto, Canada. So Canada in the house. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Canada.
Um, by the way, Blake, a little thing we have coming up. There is a gentleman. His name is Jay, the Canadian restaurant guy, and he invited Chef Parveen and I to do a late night show with him. So that's coming to Canada in the next few weeks, and we make sure we keep you in the loop. So Blake's correct. Question was, during your TV career, what unexpected challenges did you encounter? Second part of the question, how did these experiences shape your approach to cooking and television? Great question, Blake.
Sounds that's too loud. I can hear it. Can you hear me okay, Christian? Or is
Yeah,
that
we
too
can
loud?
hear you fine. Absolutely.
The question was, what challenges?
So he said, during your TV career, what unexpected challenges did you encounter? And then he says, number two question, how did these experiences shape your approach to cooking and television?
Okay, so here's the thing: cooking on television is very unlike cooking in real life. I was used to doing live television. So you in live television, you're on for an hour, you get off and you go home and you can put your feet up, have a cup of tea. But when you're filming a recipe, it's very precise work, and it can be quite repetitive. So it's
Mm-hmm.
about bringing the energy to the camera. And in the first couple of days, I didn't realize. And by the third time I'd say something, I was tired. And the camera, as you know, picks up everything.
Yep.
So it's keeping your stamina high, keeping your energy high, and keeping the enthusiasm there, which was really difficult. I mean, I'm a talkative person with lots of energy, but even I found it difficult because I can say, "Hi, I'm Parveen." Say it again. "Hi, I'm Parveen, Spice Queen." Say it again. More energy. "Hi, I'm Parveen, Spice Queen." Say it slower. You think, "Hi, I'm Parveen, the Spice Queen." Say it warmer. "Hi, I'm Parveen, the Spice Queen." So the fifth time you've said it, you can lose traction and energy. But on camera, the camera has to catch the best version of yourself. And
Mhm.
that takes a lot of energy, and it's draining, absolutely exhausting.
Oh my God, I love that. By the way, great answer and good question from Blake from Toronto, Canada. So Blake, thanks for listening in. Before we go to the last two questions, if you're just tuning in or you just came across this podcast, my name is Christian. I'm the host of the Disruptive Chef Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm joined here by celebrity chef Parveen the Spice Queen, coming live from the UK, and you see her family cooking in the background. So this is real. No editing here because we just put it out as it is. And
Yeah.
so today we answer the questions we gotten from our viewers, and we narrowed it down to the 10 best questions. By the way, we got a ton of questions, and we really appreciate you guys listening to her episode for over 22,000 times.
Thank
So
you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much. Next question comes from, and I might butcher this name, Yvette. I want to say Yvette.
Yeah.
And she's asking this question out of Miami, Florida. We love Miami.
Hey, Christian, invite me to Miami. I'll be there. I can't wait.
Her question is awesome. She says, greetings from the city of celebrity chefs in the US. I'm from Miami, Florida, and I'm interested about how did you become a celebrity chef? Oh my God, there's multiple questions. So there's three questions in one. So question number one is, how did you become a celebrity chef? And how did that impact your practice from a personal cooking style? And then question kind of two-ish, three-ish is, did fame change your approach to food and television?
Oh, a lot of deep questions here,
I
Christian.
know.
I think becoming a celebrity chef is, like I said, I was living in a city that had a TV studio, and I was, imagine QVC. So it's a smaller version of QVC. So I was used to the cameras for 10 years. And I think it was just meeting the right person at the right time. And I think I must have stalked people to death. I was tenacious. I was tenacious. I was tenacious. And I just kept bringing people saying, "Hi, I'm Parveen. Yes, I'm going to be a TV chef." And I just keep telling anybody that would listen, this is what I want to do as a job. It's my career. But I had 10 years of experience behind me. Um, so I knew I could do the job. And so when I was doing the job itself, I felt very blessed. And suddenly the world saw my recipes. So I felt vindicated and validated. That was brilliant. And
Hmm.
in the real world, it doesn't really change you if you are if you're grounded in yourself and you know yourself very well. And I was like 52 when it happened. So I had a very strong team around me, my husband, my children, my friends and family. I was very grounded. I didn't believe my own hype. If I was to believe what people say about me, I would be have my head in the clouds.
Hmm.
But I kept it very real, and I just kept cooking the way I cook in the real. The only thing is I could charge like 500% more than I used to charge in the real world. So my price changed, but
Hmm.
I didn't.
I love that. And there's a hidden question in it. It said, you know, did that fame change your personal cooking style?
Fame, I think fame in general can change you because it's quite fickle. It's not real. It was lovely to have to be recognized, but sometimes it can
Hmm.
be. You can go out with no makeup. People, I get recognized in the least awkward, most awkward places. In my cooking style, no, no. I cook the way that I wanted to cook on camera, which is very new to many of the audiences. Um,
Hmm.
and I cook the way I cook, and no, I'm never going to change the way I cook. It's always real. Two things: many TV chefs have people to cook their food for the camera. Everything I showed on my TV show, I had cooked. There was no swap outs. There was no fake food. There was no raw food. Everything I cooked was 100% real food. And I told the team that. I said, I need to showcase what is real. There's no pretense here. That's the only thing that I did is I kept it real as possible. And that's what people engaged with.
That I love that. So, and before we ask and answer the last question, by the way, which is a doozy, and and I think there's 6 questions in the one. But
Let's
if
try.
if you haven't done so, please go to disruptivechef.club, join our private community, and be part of our group here. You will get a little bit of behind the scenes of what we're doing, and if there's something new coming out, you guys get a front row seat and get all the latest and greatest what we do as an organization. And it's also a great spot for you to stay current with what's going on without joining a newsletter. We make sure we don't spam you, but we want to make sure you know what we're doing as an organization. So with that, the last question, this is like 9 questions in one, and it comes from, again, I want to say Sion from
Is it
Baker.
Sean? Sean.
Yep,
S-I-N Sean.
correct. From
Thank you.
Bakersville, California. And
Hey,
he
California.
he said, OMG, I just came across this podcast. You guys are electrifying. Thank you for the shout out.
Thank you.
He says, you two should do a TV show together.
Yeah, we should. You should do TV.
He says, I'm sorry I missed the first episode. Maybe I have overheard it. But first question. Okay, here we go. How
Okay.
did you guys meet? And then I will ask all the other ones. So
Okay.
I let you answer that. How did you and I meet?
Oh my gosh, Christine, we met. Actually, you messaged me. Joe, we have a mutual friend called Joe. Rest his heart, and the most positive guy in the world. Joe had messaged me on LinkedIn, and I found his message so enthusiastic. And at that time, I had a lot of messages and I had a PA, but for some reason, I
Mhm.
responded to Joe, and we met on Zoom, and the rest is history because we just there was a connection,
Mhm. I
and
love
it
that.
was real.
And from my side, it was so we set up a Zoom, and
Yeah,
at the time, my office was overcrowded, so I actually had a small corner in the dining room set up as my Zoom table. That's how we started out. We had a half-hour Zoom scheduled. We talked about for 3 hours,
we
and
it was a great Zoom, wasn't it, Christian? It
yeah,
really was. And I think my husband came in to say hello, and my son came in to say hello.
and then Joe and I did our first podcast with Chef Parveen, and it just kind of took off since that. So, really good question. And then he says, question number 2: I'm also interested in becoming a celebrity chef. Awesome. Let us know what you do and how we can support. His question is, how did you become a celebrity chef? And how did again, there's multiple questions in there. So he says, any advice so let's start with the other question and then we go back to the other one. He says, what advice would you give to an aspiring chef who is also dreaming about becoming a television personality?
Well, here's the thing, Sean, dreaming is good. You need that dream, but there's very few people that can actually follow their dreams and make their dreams come true. I was very, very blessed and lucky in the fact that my husband paid the bills, looked after me so I could go off and follow my dream. But it's hard work. You need patience, you need tenacity, you need faith. And people say, oh, did you fake it till you make it? I said, no, I faked it. I had faith in what I was doing. So it's about aligning myself with the right people. I did a lot of charity work. I just put myself out anywhere and anybody that would listen to me, I would turn up and cook. There's a lot of groundwork to do before you become a celebrity chef. And then you have to have a personality, something that's a USP. And I hate that word, USP. So I was just myself. I mean, I'm a naturally chatty person. And I quite like the camera. But listen, it wasn't always like that. And then I did lots of voice coaching, acting lessons, styling. So I put a lot of effort into becoming the celebrity chef that I then became. But at the core of it, it was just me. And people always say, oh, just be yourself. Remember, be yourself because everybody else is taken.
And then he gave you a little shout out on the apprentices. He said, I know it's hot in Ghana, but you look amazing. Do not worry about the heat.
God, look at me. I was melting, Christian. I'm so happy.
I was laughing about it because I remember you said, oh my God, it's so hot.
I'm in the UK now. It's so cold and miserable. And you know what? I love it. I love it.
Oh, that was, by the way, a little shout out. So that was great. So thank you. And then he says, by the way, I'm serious. You guys should do something together. Maybe we will. So thank you for that. And the final portion of his question was, he says, can you give me maybe a step-by-step? I don't know what he wrote here. That does
I think he must have step-by-step.
Yeah. So he was asking, what wisdom could you share with him? And he wants to have it step-by-step. From your own experience. And would you do anything different if you would start over? Wow.
Gosh, that's a deep question, but it really is. I mean, we're laughing and we're joking, but it's a serious business and it's saturated. And the TV companies are inundated with people wanting to be on television. Now you can do it on YouTube. And so you can have your own channel like we are doing here. But you have to know your subject matter, know what you are doing so that when the camera comes on, you can say the same thing 10 times and it will sound the same. The other thing is know your recipes. So I write recipes. I have 2 cookbooks. And when you're on camera, believe it or not, Christian, every time I cook a recipe on camera, it comes out perfect because the cooking's not the part. That's the difficult part. It's presenting and having a personality. So you need the personality, presentation skills, and then you need recipes that people haven't seen before or people will be interested in cooking. But my advice to you would be cook something that you know inside out. Even if it's a simple steak with a pepper sauce or it's an apple crumble, cook something that you know, because on camera, if you don't know what you're doing and you're nervous, you'll make mistakes. And then actually that looks quite funny on camera. No, but know your subject matter and showcase what you know. That would be my first piece of advice. Second piece of advice is keep going until you meet the right people to help you. I'm amazed. I mean, I met Christian, and as we know, Christian, hopefully I'm coming out to the US.
Yeah.
But align yourself with the right people, go to the right events, and just keep putting yourself out there until somebody notices you and shout about what you're doing all the time.
And the final question, or the last piece of his question, you just answered. Yes, she is coming to the US. Yes, we will. We will share it with everybody, and we're gonna stay on the East Coast. I know you said you're out of Bakersfield, California, so we'll stay the first go around on the East Coast. So anybody here calling in and listening from the East Coast, let us know. Maybe we could set up even a meet and greet. It would be great to meet our listeners in person.
The last thing is, Christian, and you know this, and I know this, when we meet chefs that are really passionate, and I don't call myself a chef really, I'm a cookery teacher, is you really have to have that passion for your subject. If you don't love what you do, it will absolutely show, and you won't have the joy. And if you don't have the joy in your face and your heart, then you can't present that on camera to your audience. And remember, the camera picks up energy, so you
Mhm.
have to give it out for them to receive it.
I love it. And so thank you for our listeners to write in these questions. And it was great. There was some other questions what you thought about Gordon Ramsay and some other stuff. We didn't not gonna answer that. And there was some other people wanted to know if you're married. Yes, she is married. So please no more inquiries about that. But we do appreciate you guys all listening in. And as
Christian,
always, Chef Parveen, I appreciate you
we should,
supporting
Christian,
our channel.
we should ask the audience how old my eldest
Oh,
child is.
okay. Maybe we need to put this up there. So if anybody wants to give it a guess,
I'll give them a free cookbook.
we give them a free for good. But yes, I actually have it right here.
Okay.
And when you're ready, by the way, if whoever comes closest, and it's not a competition, but we make sure we get you one of Parveen.
It could be a competition. Christian, can I just showcase one thing is I live in this house and this is my kitchen and
Mhm.
this is my studio kitchen. And as you can see on the cookbook cover, the photograph was shot in my kitchen at
Oh,
home.
that's awesome.
So that's also keeping it very real.
And for me, I enjoy these conversations all the time, and some of these questions were super detailed. So we appreciate people writing in and you answering as truly as you did. And you could also see we always say we do live, and this is not edited. This is what it is, and we want to come to you guys raw because I think that's the only way to be sincere. No editing here. You could see stuff going on, man. And Parveen is a pro. It didn't let her miss a beat. So with that, I want to say thanks for being here today. And to our listeners, if you haven't done so, please go to disruptivechef.club, join our private community. We would love to have you. And we do monthly raffles on some really cool stuff. So please sign up, become part of our group. We would love to have you. With that, I want to say thanks for being here, Chef Parveen. Any final words of wisdom around being as amazing as you are?
Oh, wow. I don't know about amazing. I think stay humble and stay real and stay grounded. Some of the most I've been so lucky. I cook for some huge celebrities here, and the ones that stick in my mind are the ones that are so incredibly humble.
Mhm.
And when you meet them, it's a joy to meet them. So stay humble and stay grounded and just stay grateful, and that will show. That will show through every pore on your face and your demeanor and the energy you give out to your audience.
Yeah.
I've met people that are not true to who they say they are, and you can feel it. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, I think just stay grateful and stay blessed, and it will show on your face. And yeah, that's what I say.
Awesome. Thank you, Chef. We appreciate the gift of your time, and we will announce when you're in the US. But I'm excited to do some stuff with you in person. Until next time, remember to disrupt your kitchen, fire up your career, stay hungry for change. I'm Christian, your disruptive chef entrepreneur host. I'm signing off, and thanks again for Chef Parveen to be here. So, for our listeners, be the change, be the challenge, be the chef who sets the world on fire. Until next time, stay disruptive, everybody. Thanks for